patronize me.
So we talked about on the last episode.
Oh, yeah, let's go to the comparisons.
We said that we were going to, we keep talking about return on investment. That's a constant
Why is
mailbag
football
question.
wax so expensive compared to baseball? Yep.
So I didn't do this for every box of something. I just had to pull one just because there's a lot of numbers. And I'm going to give you some numbers. I will tell you, like, if you ask me something I don't already know, it may not be easy for me to pull that information. Okay.
I got card ladder up as well. I can try to help if need be, but.
Well, so here's what I did. I took Mosaic Football. I took Mosaic 2022 football, and I compared that to two different baseball products because that was the big question, right? Everyone, we keep talking about how baseball's cheaper in a lot of instances, and so it's like, well, are you getting the same kind of return on investment?
And there's no exact apples to apples. Mosaic baseball is not licensed, so it's not a comparison. Yeah. So Mosaic baseball, like a comp in my head, I have not seen anything you're talking about yet.
This is Mosaic football.
Right. Compared to, like, I'm trying to think of a baseball product that to me is kind of a comp to that. I would think something like a Finest or a Topps Chrome.
Okay. I did not put Topps Chrome because I figured that would be closer to Prism or something.
That's fine.
I did.
I mean, actually, I think all these.
I actually did two different ones. I did Topps Series 1 and Topps Update. I did these two comparisons.
We're gonna have to use Topps Chrome for that. That's like the dirt cheap paper product. It doesn't.
But I mean, like, as far as like, and I did it based on like a jumbo box of these because I mean those boxes, like a box of like Topps Update goes for like $250. That's around what they're going for right now. In 2020, and that was 2022 Topps Update. 2023 Topps Update Series 1 was $225. I also did those because they also came out relatively around the same time. So they've have close to the same amount of sales time because the overall goal was to find what has sold from that product and over a hopefully close amount of time so that if I were to say put in, you know, for a box of Mosaic is going for like $480. If I was going to spend double the price for a box of Mosaic, do I have the chance of getting something big for it or at least to get my money back? So the overall goal in what I found was how many boxes of how many sales of each could you get something that was over what you bought the box for? So could you hit something that was over what the price of the box was? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Here's the problem. You're talking about how many singular cards are going to cover the cost of the box.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's why update is a hard. You can't use an update.
You don't even know what the numbers are though.
But
they're actually pretty good.
But the odds of update are brutal, unbelievably brutal. The odds of update. We rip update every year. It's a paper product. The odds of you hitting one card that's worth more than $250 are very low. But the update, the point is you're going to get 30 to 50 rookies to grade because you get mass amounts of paper, quantity of paper rookies.
Okay. So
there's almost no chance of you losing a lot of money on an update box.
So that's actually that actually works out because if we know that going in, then it's still going to be beneficial when you figure out what the numbers are for Mosaic because knowing that you would think, oh, that would be really like outstandingly good as far as a baseball return on investment than the Mosaic return on investment, right? Because you're saying you can
the majority of update boxes, if you grade depending on what you hit, I think you'll get very close to your money back every time. So
this is what I had found for 2022 Topps Update that came out October of 2022. All right.
Okay.
So in order of coming out, it was Topps Update, then Mosaic Football in January, and then Topps Series 1 in February.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm trying to think of who the heck was in Series 1 this year.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Okay.
Actually, I still have it all pulled up. Series 1, you're going to have players like...
Was Adley in that? Adley and Gunnar? Corbin Carroll?
Series 1. Where's
Josh Young?
Oh, darn it. I don't have it up. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go do what you do.
So let me do the numbers. You pull up who was in it. So in Topps Update, I said I was going to start there, October 2022. The box was going for about $250. Again, this is a jumbo box, right? So you have a little bit better chance to hit some parallels, some other things. You're going to have around 1,360 individual sales that were over $280. I did 280 just to like give a little wiggle room as far as pricing goes, if it sold a little more or whatever the case may be. 1,360 sales. That's actually pretty darn good. It's almost the highest, but 1,360 sales is going to come out, in this case, to be 169 of them being $1,000 plus.
Okay.
So $1,000 for 169 of those. The Topps Series 1, so we did Topps Update 2022, now 2023 Topps Series 1, that jumbo box sells for $225. That one has 1,440 sales of $250 or more. All right, so 1,440, $250 sales, but only 107 cards that were over $1,000, which makes sense because Series 1 is a lesser product, right? Because the other one had 169.
It's the same product. It's all just about the checklist.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. I'm sorry. When I say lesser, I just mean like there's just not as many bigger or better hits in that product. So Mosaic Football, if you were to buy that, you're only going to find 820. So about, what is that? 500 to 600 less sales than those other two we talked about. 820 sales that were $500 plus. So 800 sales that we're going to pay for that box.
Okay.
With 196, that's the largest, being $1,000 and more per card. Okay. So essentially, your return on investment, you're going to get about 40% less of a chance to pay for it based on sales.
Even bigger, though, because you're talking ROI. You're talking 2 update boxes for every 1 Mosaic box.
Well, that's why I'm basing it just based on if you're just trying to pay for the box itself, not for like the same amount. So yeah, if you're just trying to pay for the box itself, you can do that like we said, 1,400 times with Series 1, 1,300 times with Topps Update, only 820 times with Mosaic.
Okay.
That's what it comes out to. But you do have a higher chance of hitting $1,000 plus card in Mosaic than you do in
that's okay. So that's where the number of the box skews it, though. So even if you hit $1,000 card, you've made a $500 profit. Hit $1,000 card out of Update, you've made $750 profit.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, the other major issue here is with Update, or with Series 1 specifically, Gunnar Henderson, Adley, Corbin, you PSA 10 those cards are going $40 a piece. You're making $25 profit on a handful of those cards without hitting anything big. Yes. That's also a major, because you get bulk amount of base.
But here's the other thing that
I really want to know Topps Chrome. That's the one I'm curious about to compare to all 3 of these.
I could do it. I could pull it up.
Yeah, because that would be the most closely resembling.
But here's what you find starting to pull this information, because I spent like at least an hour just trying to find this information and then trying to gather it so I can actually pull data from it. It is so difficult. Like that, I think that's one of the reasons why this hobby like does well and other times it doesn't do quite as well. And no one really knows the exact reason why, because you can't quantify a lot of things.
Sure. So, like, let me ask you this right now, to the layman, to just the person listening. If you were to ask 10 collectors who break occasionally, rip their own personals occasionally, are in the hobby almost exclusively, in a bunch of different facets, why is football wax higher? Oh, because there's bigger return.
Yeah.
That is the answer. Oh, the singles sell for more. And that's a myth. By and large, that is just not the case. In the ones that do, you're paying more. Your entry level is way higher, and your odds are longer.
Yeah.
They just like that is still to me across the board. And the other thing is your ability to grade your way out, so to speak, like you can with 2023 baseball, it's not close.
So that's the one thing that I obviously didn't have, right?
Sure.
Like of all the smaller stuff, like what is...
But you'll get some of that in Mosaic. You'll get 1 or 2 of those guys in Mosaic as well. You can grade your way out.
Sure.
Baseball, you get 6 to 10 of those guys. That's the difference. That's why I mean, like, the perception is just, oh, it's a bigger chase. The number one reason football and basketball wax is more expensive than baseball. Number one, far and away, the gambler mentality. People want to chase. That is it. Like there, you could in your as a matter of fact, your info kind of shows some of that. Your sales data. Now, granted, I'm not saying go out and buy Update, because to me, I want a little bit of both. I want to be able to chase something big. Update's boring to me. I don't care about Update. Yeah, I can make. Sure. I'm never going to lose my shirt, and I might make money more often than not. Topps Chrome's a good example, though. I can still go and chase a red Adley. It's going to do thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I have as good a chance of hitting that as I do of hitting a gold Kenny Pickett out of 2022. But it is wild. To your point, a lot of people don't sit down and do the research or look or think about checklists or autograph stuff. And especially with 2023 football, the odds of 2023 football are going to be way worse than ever before because a lot of the guys didn't sign.
So yeah,
that takes away huge high-level ceiling-type cards. You no longer even have the ability to chase because they're not in the product. Like, that's crazy to me that 2023 sells like that.
The only thing to throw some of this off, well,
sure.
Granted,
go ahead.
all these
I'm
numbers
curious.
are like as close as I could get without spending days.
No,
doing
I understand. You spent comprehensive research.
I say more for the audience because I know I'm going to hear from those people. Like, well, you didn't look at this or that, and I get that it's not perfect. But the one thing that I did consider though is to what you mentioned. I think when I first started talking about this is the amount of product that is made or like that's put out there. Because in your mind, isn't there more Topps, like say Update or Series 1, more of that product?
Let's go Topps Chrome again. So we kind of go Apple. Is there more Topps Chrome than Mosaic?
I mean,
maybe
there's got to be, right? Like they're selling it at Costco now.
Well, but look at the retail Mosaic SKUs. Look at the retail Prism SKUs that are out there for football. They're all over the place.
But I mean, like,
is there more printed?
They're at Walmart, they're Target, yeah. I feel like all the places that you would normally find probably a football, basketball, you'd probably also find a baseball pack too.
Sure.
However, I keep seeing like to that point, Costco, and there's now like a few other things online of these other baseball sales or other baseball products. Like there's a holiday box now, a mega holiday box.
Sure, the paper stuff, no question.
Be more and more of that product out there to where, if that is the case, let's just say it is, if there's a lot more baseball than there is football overall, just printed, then yeah, maybe there's more sales, but there's that sales was from 1 million people buying it versus maybe only 500,000 people buying football product.
But isn't even that a good thing? If 1 million people are buying because there's that many buyers out there because there's more product? Because the baseball market is much more...
Well, not necessarily, because you think these weren't percentages of those people. That was just like a strict number. So let's say 1.3 million people bought Topps Chrome, right? So or Topps Update, because that's the one I actually have numbers for. That would mean 1,360 people were able to pay for their box by a hit, right? So what is that percentage? 1,300 to 1.3 million.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean,
it's a much smaller percentage than if, there's only 500,000 boxes of Mosaic sold, and 820 of those were able to pay for the box. So that's where I think the percentage kind of comes into play, and how much of that product was actually made becomes a factor as to is it worth it.
I think it's close though. Topps Chrome baseball compared to Prism, compared to Mosaic, compared to Optic.
It may be.
I would say maybe 25% more, but I don't think it's way more than that.
If anyone knows, I would love to.
No one knows. They keep all that stuff so tight, it's ridiculous.
It is, yeah.
But maybe 25% more.
Yeah.
But I still think the more you dig into the numbers, the more you'll see that football is way more of a chase. Basketball, way more of a chase.
But I think that at the end of the day, it's still, if people are buying it, then...
Oh, yeah, it's not going to change. But that's also to us, that's why we've never really gotten to breaking big with football and basketball. I think you burn people out doing that because I think the return is so much worse.
Maybe.
It's brutal.
So anyways, that was just a little bit of the numbers. I thought it was interesting at least.